Hi, how are you guys doing today? I'm so glad that you decided to come and look at my videos, and I'm hoping that I can teach you a little bit of something about art today. So I'm going to start out by telling you a little bit about the different kinds of graphite pencils, because it's not simple like you don't just have one number two pencil. There's actually several of them. They range in hardness, and the difference between the strength of the lead is what's going to help you to get the picture that you're looking for. So start out with the harder lead pencils, the H pencils. Those are harder lead pencils. These are used really good for your initial sketching, because you can sketch really lightly and they erase very easily. So they're great for your initial sketching. You can use anywhere between a 2H, a regular H, or an HB. Any of those would be good for really sketching. When you get into your B pencils, they get a little bit softer. A 2B, which is typically what's in most like number 2 pencils and stuff like that, those are common for, writing and using them for mainstream. But they're also good for sketching, depending upon the strength of lead that you're looking for, or if you're looking for blendability. The softer you go, the more blendable they are. So if you're looking for, if you're drawing a picture that you want to be able to just do in graphite pencil, and you want to use a softer lead pencil, here's like the softest there is, an 8B. If you use an 8B pencil, then you're going to be able to like smear it. So that's going to be good for anything that you're trying to make look more 3D, especially if you're using like a shape. Say you're making a sphere or a cube or anything like that where you need to have shadowing, then the softer leaded pencils are great for those kind of things. But I made sure in each of the kits that there is a harder lead pencil, a medium lead pencil, and a softer lead pencil, so that at least that way you can kind of have something to start out with. They may not all be the exact same, like you may have an H or a 2H, or you may have a 4B or a 6B, but you always have the right utensils that you'll need to do these projects. So before I get started on the project for today, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about that. And in each of the kits, you're also going to get, you should get a high-res eraser, which is great for erasing. It's the white eraser. I actually did a couple of end cap erasers that are put in there that you can put on the end of the pencil, and those are high-res as well. I also made sure that you guys have the paper that you need for the projects. I didn't put a lot of extra paper in there, so you may have to go buy more if you want to do more projects. But at least to start out, it's good. And if you have any questions, you can just comment on this video, or if you'd like, I can post my email address with it, so you can ask me any questions you need. All right, thanks. Look forward to drawing with you. Okay, so you're going to take the drawing that I put in your kit, the little teddy bear, and you're going to put it on top of your mixed media paper, the thicker paper that you have. You're going to put the piece of tracing paper over top and put a paper clip there to hold it on, okay? Then you can begin drawing, and when you want to initially do your first bit of tracing, you want to use a darker lead, so a 4B, a 6B, whatever you have in your kit that's your softest one that you have. I'm actually going to use a 4B for this. So we're going to go ahead and start our tracing. And you just follow the lines, and just don't ignore the part where it looks a little fuzzy, because that'll come in later when we do the charcoal. So you just do the initial bit of tracing. And while you're doing this, you can kind of see in here where there's like different shades, and those different shading parts, again, that's what we're going to work on with our charcoal when we get it, and we'll make it look fuzzy. But again, for now, just follow the lines. And if you mess up, you know, of course, you can use a little eraser on it. Okay. Once you have your initial tracing done, you're going to take the bear out from underneath, set it aside. Okay. We're then going to turn this over so that the lead side is down. Okay. And then we're going to put our paper clip back on. Just like that. Alright, now I find when you're doing tracing, it's better to use a colored pencil for the second part of it. That way you can keep track of the lines that you've done. So I'm going to use an orange colored pencil, and I'm going to trace right where I drew with the orange colored pencil. And you want to press down pretty significantly because you're trying to make that pencil that you just drew to appear on the paper. So in order to do that, you got to give it a little bit of pressure. I mean, not so much you're going to break your lead, obviously, but definitely want to give it a little bit more than just a gentle drawing. Okay, so once you're done tracing it out, you're going to want to take the tracing paper off, and you'll notice that your lines are there. So now, even if you have a couple of little blank spots, that's okay because we're going to go over it with the charcoal. So then when you're looking at your little fuzzy drawing here, can you see that? Okay. With the charcoal pencil, you're going to notice how there are some areas that are darker. For example, on the outside here is darker. And in order to make that fuzzy look, we're going to kind of go in like an up and down kind of motion, kind of like this. Some of you have the charcoal pencil, and some of you have the little rectangular charcoal. Both work the same way. Again, you just kind of want to like do the up and down motion with it. Okay. For the ear part, if you notice, it's got, you know, the little crescent moon right here. So you kind of want to like draw like that on the ear part. This one has the line that goes all the way across as well. So you want to do that, and then you want to do the darker ear part. And just kind of shade that in like that. Okay, and as we get to this little fold right here, there's not quite so much fuzz, so you just kind of basically don't do it as much. Okay, move down here. And now we'll do the feet, which those you really just kind of draw the straight lines. You don't really have to do the wavy for the feet. Alright, so now I've got kind of the outline of it. So now we get to do our shading, which this is the fun part. And don't worry if you have smudges on your paper. You can always run back across it with an eraser afterwards. But we'll go ahead and start with the shading first. So what you're going to do is you're going to very lightly take your charcoal and kind of run it across the edges. Kind of like you did when you were doing the line, but do it very, very lightly instead. Like this. Okay, because the great thing about charcoal is that you blend it. So we're going to do just like this. Okay. And then we're going to come with our finger and blend that. Okay. And you see how well that blends in? Okay. So you're going to kind of do that around these outside edges, like right here by the arm. So we're going to kind of do our light layer. And then blend it. Okay. And then down here we'll do the same thing. It's a little bit trickier because of these paws. So you may not have to do quite as much down here because of the dark on the paws already. Okay, go around the outside edges. We'll do this other arm here. Okay, and then we'll fill that in just like that. Okay. Okay, now I'll do this side. And our handsome little bear's coming on about, isn't they? Okay. And again, like I said, don't worry about outside smudges. You can always fix those. Alright, so this is the fairly easy part because it's just solid black, so you're just going to kind of color that in. Alright, and you can take a final blend through. And then you can take your eraser and touch up the spots where you kind of smudged a little bit. I tried to make it so that these were a small size. So you probably could do like a 5x7 frame for these. Maybe 3.5x5, depending upon what you're going for. But ultimately, when you're done, you want it to look like this. All right. All right, thanks guys. Look forward to talking to you again next time.